All right, guys, after research, after further review, this is a straight business report. I'm gonna tell you exactly why the Cowboys lost this game and was very ineffective against San Francisco's defense. And nobody, and I do mean nobody, has told you this yet. But before I do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. All right, guys, let's get into this. And warning before I start, I'm gonna go as slow and be as concise as I can. This will be over some people's head. I will do further videos upon request to break all of these concepts down. If you want film, put film in the comment below, but you gotta put film, because if a lot of you guys don't put film, I'm not gonna waste the time and do it. But if you want to see it, I will do film below, or me and Boss Cowboy will tackle it together, one way or the other. But check this out. A lot of people don't understand why we lost this game, and it was, decision making and talent and all of those things, and we need to be deeper talented wise and all those things. I'm going to get into that and more in this video, but before I do, I want to give you guys some basic information about defenses, about defensive scheme, about defensive strategy. And I got to go back a little bit. I won't go back too far, but listen, the Seattle Seahawks, remember the Legion of Boom? Remember those guys, Seattle, they really initiated and started the popularity of what's called a cover 3 defense. And it's all about responsibilities and how you pass off wide receivers on the back end. I actually put a picture in here for you guys so you guys can take a look at it. But cover 3 defense started in Seattle. And guess what? For a while, for a couple years, it killed people. It absolutely destroyed people, until people figured out how to beat it. And how you beat a cover 3 defense, people figured it out. It's vertical seam routes and it's crossing routes underneath. That's how you attack, and that's how you beat a cover 3 defense. And I'm saying that for a very, very important reason. As we go in the video, you'll understand why. Number 2. There's a gentleman by the name, if you don't know his name, you should know his name. He's probably one of the most influential, if not the most influential defensive coordinators in the NFL the past 5 to 6 years. His name is Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is the originator and the creator in his career of what's called the cover 6 defense. He had a lot of success in it with the Bears, which got him the head coaching job at Denver. Ran it with success there. Did a combination of this in his 20-some-odd year career as a defensive coach. The cover 6 defense. Now, I'm going to explain just a little bit of content about it to give you guys a highlight. And this was the absolute kryptonite, but I'm going to tell you why in a second, of the Dallas Cowboys. The cover 6 defense, it appears to be a cover 2 defense. 2 high safeties, free safety covering 1/3, 1/2, a strong safety covering the other half. It appears to be that. The issue with this defense is that you have a pre and post snap read, and pre-snap, many times it can be manipulated into many fronts. You can actually be running, in truth, a cover 6 and actually show 2 high safeties like it's a cover 2. You could have your 2 high safeties and 2 defensive backs playing off of the ball 7 to 10 yards and show a cover 4. And if you do that, what is that going to do pre-snap? Well, that discourages you from taking shots over the top. You're basically saying, hey man, this is designed to cover 4, is to take away the deep ball. I want to take away the deep ball. I want to force you to check the ball underneath and try to throw underneath. But the issue is that a cover 6 in its true essence has a bunch of disguises. And this is the defense that was picked up by the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers. And this is why the San Francisco 49ers have the #1 defense in the NFL, and it's by running that cover 6. I'm telling you guys. So I am going to actually give you guys some content about that, and the key to the cover 6 being the safety. And this is something nobody's really mentioned. All right, Tialona Hufanga. All right, that is, I call him a Troy Polamalu mini-me, because the safety is really the key to this defense because he has run and deep thirds and middle coverage responsibility. He's responsible for run fits on run plays in certain scenarios, but he has to be athletic and fast enough to bail and get back into coverage. All right. So with that cover 6, guys, you could really appear to be playing 2 high, single high, cover 2, right? It's a very, very versatile coverage that changes and it manipulates right after the snap of the football. And you don't really see the real front until after the football snaps. And the key with this defense is that you have no pre-snap read. This is why the reads took longer and the hesitancy of Dak Prescott, because he did not want to throw what he did, which is picks. He was trying to get a feel for the post-snap read, which took him longer to develop and to get into his reads and his projection and his progressions. And so that's what it's designed to do. It slows down the reads. It also encourages the check downs. Sometimes it's a fake check down because when you have the personnel, and the key with this is that the San Francisco 49ers do, they have the personnel and the speed to play this cover 6 and mix and hide coverages so very well that you could appear to be open, and as soon as you catch the ball, you got a linebacker or a cornerback right on top of you because it was all bait to get you to throw the football in a certain place. So listen, what also makes this extremely difficult to deal with in terms of the cover 6 front is that if you have a pass rush. Now, the former linebacker coach that coached underneath Vic Fangio actually was hired by Sean McVay, and he implemented this same system with the Los Angeles Rams. They had the #1 rated overall defense, I believe, back in 2020. Well, what makes this defense work? Speed linebackers, versatile athletic back end, and a really hectified pass rush. Because if the ball has to come out on time, or you know you're not going to have a lot of time to actually read the progressions in the defense, that plays into the defense's hands because it makes you force the passes, right? If you're late reading it, which Dak Prescott did, and I'm not giving him a pass for those 2 interceptions. I really don't care what nobody say. I'm not giving him a pass on those 2 interceptions because he threw those 2 interceptions. And even Kurt Warner, if you watch his channel, agrees with this, that, man, those balls came out late. They came out late. All right, so it is what it is. But the reason why is because of this cover 6 front. All right. And so listen, if you are going to be successful against a cover 6 front, or against a front that morphs from cover 2 to cover 4 to cover 3 to single high, and you don't really know until post snap exactly the pass offs and the responsibilities, it's a brilliant defense in terms of the secondary. And it's really started back in the day of, okay, man, how in the world can we defend these spread open style concepts and not get chopped to bits, right? That is really the origin of the creation of this particular front. We're transitioning and adding upon what I covered at the beginning part of the video, which is the cover 3 front that was so popular with the Seattle Seahawks. All right. So in order to beat this front, you got to attack this front in a certain way. And this goes to the offensive coordinator, because the Cowboys did not attack this front the appropriate way. And you heard it here first. The person who's had the most success and the most pedigree and experience on attacking and defeating this front, I'll tell you who it is. The Kansas City Chiefs. Because you got a tremendous arm talent guy, right, with Pat Mahomes, and you got a tremendously experienced offensive coordinator with Andy Reid. And they know how to scheme and set up matchups, because in essence, a cover 6, and I have a little picture for you guys, it's not a half and a half, it's quarter, half, right? You're not playing pure quarters. You're determining what side of the field based on formation. You're playing quarters coverage. You're playing quarters underneath, quarters here, quarters on this side, and then half on the other side. It's brilliant, but based upon the call, that could flip on any particular play. So you have to have the appropriate strategy to do it. So number one, We did not have the appropriate route combinations, all right? To win on this defense, you need crossing routes. You cannot run just straight vertical shots or straight hitch routes with a post or a corner, especially backside. And I've been saying this all year. A weakness of this Kellen Moore's offense is that you do not have enough crossing routes to create natural seams, picks, and separations versus coverages, okay? Number two, you have to have the appropriate personnel groupings to beat this particular front. And the best particular grouping, and you'll see this if you look at any Kansas City tapes. If you want the film, I can go through it. But what you'll see that was so brilliant that the Kansas City Chiefs did in terms of scheme is they would run a 1-4 set. A 1-4 set, meaning this: you had 4 potential offensive players on one side of the football that could get the play. So this is really easy to demonstrate if I say we had trips formation. You had 3 wide receivers to the right. You had a running back offset also to the right. That's your 4. And then on the other side, you have a single receiver. That's your 1. It's called a 1-4 set. You can put pressure on cover 6, running rubs, underneaths, crossers, and beat teams very, very effectively attacking that cover 6 out of that particular set. You can have a tremendous amount of success. Now, we missed some throws not being in that set. We had some bad reads not being in that set. You still can make plays, but I'm saying idealistically, you can use that set wide. You can use that set bunch and tight also to the line of scrimmage, right? And you cannot have all option routes. Now, I will say this, going back looking at the film, we did not have all option routes on every single route. That's not true. We had a couple wide receivers running options, and in my opinion, you really shouldn't have more than one running a option route per pass play, especially when you're going into a complex front that you really can't read until you get into post snap, okay? Which was the real big issue. It was the slowed down process of the reads, and it makes it even more complex when you don't have defined routes and you don't have the route combination, crossing routes, right? 2s and 3s, 7s and 8s, hitches and goes, all right? Doing fade routes and also doing post routes, right? Making the defenders have to account for space and separate and pull from each other so that you can create space and gaps to complete the football. That was an issue. We did not use the 1-4 set. Now, in the 1-4 set with the Kansas City Chiefs, you have Kelsey, all-world tight end. He would have an option route with Pat Mahomes. Everybody else had predefined routes. I'm really in favor of the tight end having the ability to option on a route because he can read it. But everybody can't read it. All right. So that's a huge deal. We didn't have the proper formations alignment to attack this defense. And the last thing that I'll share on this video, because I could keep going, but I'm gonna stop right here because it might be too much. All right. Here's the deal. We didn't have the proper depth and talent to attack this defense. We have a good offensive line. We have some good pieces, but we didn't have the skill position players to put pressure on their players, which is why you would see DeMeco Ryans go even to the cover 1, and he would stay in that cover 1. He would stay in that freaking cover 1 and just drop and cover the median routes. You know why? Because he didn't believe you had the people to just run past him. He didn't believe you was gonna really try to take a bunch of over-the-top shots, or that you were gonna have enough time to take the over-the-top shots versus his defense. This team also needs more talent. So it's a combination of everything. Should this team get rid of Dak Prescott? Absolutely not. Dak Prescott is right beneath the top tier quarterbacks in this league, and you'll be hard pressed to find a quarterback that's better than him. Okay, Pat Mahomes, okay, I'll give you that. Joe Burrow, I'll give you that. When he's at the end of the year, Aaron Rodgers played pretty well. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But beyond that, all the other quote-unquote great quarterbacks, Tom Brady, he's aging out, right? Justin Herbert's not a good quarterback. Maybe he's comparable. Maybe you say he's better. But who else is there in the league? You don't have a lot of great quarterbacks floating around out there. So You hadn't heard this breakdown, or at least I haven't, after this game in the way that I just gave it to you. Let me know what you think about this video. If you want film, if I need to go further and dig deeper into this concept about the cover 6 and Vic Fangio and exactly what they did. And I think this is also why San Francisco probably beats Philadelphia as well. You got to have the pieces. You got to have the right call. You got to have the right formations, and you got to have the pieces to beat elite fronts so that you can get a chance to win a Super Bowl. Let me know your thoughts below in the video. If you like content like this, like, share, and subscribe. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. And until next time, see you.